Being a poker player isn't easy. 1 minute, you're riding high. In the next, a brutal bad beat knocks you down. Variance feels relentless. Downswings feel never-ending. And frustrating mistakes creep into your game. Sometimes it feels like no matter what you do, poker just isn't going your way. I know you've been there. Questioning your decisions, doubting your skills, and wondering if you'll ever catch a break. The emotional roller coaster can be overwhelming, and it's easy to feel stuck or defeated. But what if I told you the key to overcoming these challenges isn't about just playing more volume or studying more? What if there's a way to navigate bad beats, handle variance, and bounce back from mistakes with resilience and confidence? In today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 powerful mindset tools that every poker player needs to crush at the tables, especially when the poker gods aren't on your side. Mastering these mindset tools can completely transform how you handle any challenge poker throws your way. Imagine being able to stay cool during bad beats, to learn from mistakes without dwelling on them, and to turn downswings into opportunities for growth. By the end of this video, you'll have an actionable toolkit to strengthen your mental game and regain control. So let's dive in. Mindset tool number 1, accept what is happening. Acceptance means fully acknowledging the current reality without resistance or denial. You're deep in a tournament and you get it all in pre-flop, ace-king versus ace-queen for a massive pot. Winning this hand will make you the chip leader. The flop is dry. The turn is a blank. And then a queen hits the river. And just like that, you're out. In that moment, you can't hide your frustration and your mind goes into overdrive. This is so unfair. Why does this always happen to me? The fact that you're on a long downswing only makes things worse. When is this going to turn around? How will I ever win if I keep running this bad? This reaction might seem normal, but what's happening here is you're resisting reality rather than accepting it. Resisting reality involves fighting with circumstances that are outside of your control. It's a mental state where you deny or push back on what's happening, which leads to frustration and emotional turmoil. Instead of accepting bad beats or variance as inherent parts of the game, you start thinking this shouldn't be happening, which only amplifies the negative emotions. Or you might dwell on a mistake you just made, berating yourself for not playing the hand differently. Accepting reality means acknowledging and embracing the current situation as it is, without judgment or resistance. It's about understanding that certain factors are beyond your control and choosing to focus what's within your control, your decisions and reactions. Let's look at the difference between resisting and accepting as it relates to 3 important variables. Control. Resisting is about trying to control the uncontrollable, while accepting focuses on controlling your response. Energy use. Resisting drains mental and emotional energy. Accepting conserves energy for strategic thinking. Outcome. Resisting often compounds negative situations, whereas accepting can neutralize them and open the door to positive action. Now let's have a look at how this would actually work in practice. Resisting reality. You suffer a bad beat when your strong hand is outdrawn on the river. You become angry, start playing recklessly, and try to win back the lost chips quickly. Your performance deteriorates as you make irrational decisions fueled by emotion. On the flip side, accepting reality. You acknowledge that the bad beat is a part of the game. You accept that it hurts and it's okay to feel frustrated. You take a deep breath, maybe step away for a moment, and return focused. You continue to play your optimal strategy, understanding that over time, your skill will prevail. Now, I know for many of you, this is easier said than done, but trust me, you can get better at this with practice. Here's how to move from resisting to accepting in 3 steps. Step 1, self-awareness. Recognize when you're feeling resistance. Pay attention to physical cues like tension or emotional signs like frustration. This could be after a bad beat, losing to a specific opponent, or after making a mistake. Step 2, acknowledge your feelings. It's okay to feel disappointed or upset. Accept these emotions without judgment. Allow yourself to feel whatever comes up without creating a negative narrative around it. Step 3, let go of attachment to outcomes. Be okay with things not going as you planned. Realize that any time and energy spent on things you can't control is wasted and can be redirected to what's within your control. It's helpful to develop a phrase to remind yourself to let go during tough times. This could be, it is what it is, or I can handle this, or I'm okay with this. Find a phrase that feels authentic to you. Then practice, practice, practice. Like any skill, acceptance grows stronger with repetition. Incorporate it into your daily life and poker sessions. By shifting from resisting to accepting, you empower yourself to handle challenges more effectively, to make better decisions, and to ultimately improve your performance at the tables. If you want to dive deeper into this skill and learn about the other techniques to build a bulletproof mindset for poker, I've put together a free training which you can find the link for in the description. Now, if you are able to accept everything that happens, your work will be done. However, when you can't fully accept the situation, there's another tool you need to learn. Mindset tool number 2, reframe the situation. Reframing involves changing your perspective on a situation to find a more positive or constructive meaning. You've been card dead for hours, and finally, you get dealt aces. A player raises, you make a big re-raise, and 2 players call. The flop comes Jack 10-5 two-tone. You bet small, and both players call. The turn is a blank, so you bet half pot, you get 1 fold and 1 call. The river is a queen, completing a flush draw, and the worst card you could see. Then, your opponent shoves all in for 3 times the pot. You're thrown off. Your gut tells you that if he had the flush, he should check to you. You start questioning yourself. Is this a bluff? Why would he overbet here? After thinking it over, you decide to make the hero call, only to be shown the king high flush. As you watch your chips go to your opponents, a flood of negative thoughts overwhelms you. I can't believe I didn't see that coming. That was so obvious. Why did I pay him off? Maybe I missed not cut out for this. Frustration mounts as you berate yourself internally. You replay the hand obsessively, fixating on every decision and criticizing each one. Consumed by this mistake, in the following hands, you play too passively, fearing you'll make another error. You miss opportunities to regain chips because you're too hesitant, and your focus wanes, causing sloppy mistakes to creep into your game. And all the while, you're stuck in a loop of negative self-talk. I'm just not good enough. Why do I always mess up? Sound familiar? What's powerful about reframing is that every situation, you have the option to choose how to view it. The goal is to turn what looks like a negative situation into a neutral or positive situation that keeps you on track to your goals. Let's go through some examples to show you how this looks. Dealing with bad beats. Before reframing. I can't believe I lost with such a strong hand. This always happens to me. After reframing. Bad beats are a part of poker. My opponent made a mistake by calling. In the long run, this play is profitable for me. Dealing with downswings. Before reframing. I'm on a losing streak. Maybe I'm just not good enough. After reframing. Downswings happen to every poker player. This is a chance to review my game and strengthen my mindset. Dealing with making mistakes. Before reframing. I made a terrible decision. I'm an idiot. After reframing. Mistakes are valuable feedback. I learn from this and avoid it in the future. Every situation is malleable in terms of how we look at it. Reframing allows you to consciously take back control of your perspectives instead of letting them run on autopilot. Here's how to practice reframing in 3 steps. Step 1, identify your triggers. Understand what situations cause negative reactions by paying attention to your inner dialogue when you face a setback. Note the ones that come up often. Step 2, challenge your perspective. Try to view the situation as an outside observer. Ask yourself questions like, is there another way to look at this? Or what can I learn from this? Step 3, shift your perspective. Look for any benefits or lessons you can learn from the situation. Focus on growth and how this experience can make you a better poker player. With intentionality, every situation can be reframed from a negative to a positive. Even the worst downswing of your poker career can help you build character traits like resilience, which will set you up to play higher stakes in the future. If you want to learn more about the skills you need to build a bulletproof mindset for poker, don't forget to check out the free training in the description. Now, if you're struggling to accept what has happened and you can't find a way to reframe it into something positive, there's one final tool that can help you. Mindset tool number 3, move on and take action. Moving on involves letting go of past events and redirecting your focus toward the present moment and future actions. You've just had an awful session and lost 10 buy-ins. It sucks. You felt like you played well, but you're struggling to accept that you lost so much, and you can't see any way to reframe this into something positive. It feels like no matter what you do, poker just isn't going your way. It's easy to get stuck in this negative state for too long, which can negatively impact your confidence and your performance. Some common obstacles to moving on include emotional attachment, becoming too emotionally invested in individual hands or outcomes, perfectionism, holding yourself to unrealistic standards, leading to excessive self-criticism when you make a mistake, ego involvement, linking your self-worth to your poker results, making it harder to detach from negative outcomes. But here's the key. Rather than lingering on these negative emotions, you can channel them into your future actions. To do this, you need to focus on what you control. I want to share through 2 examples now of how this looks in-game and how this looks out of game in practical terms. In-game, you make a mistake and your mind starts racing with negative thoughts. Instead of dwelling on it, you mark the hand to review after your session. You refocus on the next hand, bringing your attention back to the present moment. By doing this, you're acknowledging the mistake, but you're not letting it derail your entire session. You're taking a proactive step to address the hand later, and you're maintaining your focus where it matters most, on the next hand. Now here's how it could look out of game. You're on a long downswing that's hard to accept. You've tried to reframe it as an opportunity to build resilience, but it isn't working. So you decide to use the frustration you're feeling to work on your game. You do a deep dive into your play and create a study plan for the next few weeks. You block out 2 hours each day for focused study, concentrating on areas where you can improve. You might even go for a run to blow off some steam, helping to clear your mind and reduce stress. By taking these actions, you're turning negative energy into positive momentum. You're focusing on tangible steps that can improve your performance rather than getting stuck in a cycle of frustration. Here's how to move on and take action in 3 steps. Step 1, acknowledge your feelings without letting them control you. Recognize your emotions, but don't let them dictate your actions. Step 2, decide on actionable steps to move forward. Identify specific actions you can take to improve your situation. Step 3, implement those actions with commitment and focus. Follow through on your plan, dedicating your energy to what you can control. Remember, moving on and taking action doesn't mean ignoring what's happened. It's about acknowledging your feelings without letting them hinder your performance and channeling that excess energy into proactive steps to move you forward. By shifting your focus from what's out of your control to what you can actively influence, you empower yourself to keep making progress, even in the face of setbacks. So the next time you feel stuck after a tough session or a rough hand, remember these 3 things. Accept what you can, reframe when possible, and when all else fails, move on and take action. Focus on what you can control and keep pushing forward. And if you want to learn how to build a bulletproof mindset for poker, don't forget to check out the free trainer I put on for you in the description below.